Amongst all the injuries we've seen in Week 1 of the NFL season, Patrick Mahomes appeared to have for now escaped from sustaining what could have been a pretty bad injury. Welcome back everybody. For those new, my name's Brian and I'm a doctor and a sports fan, and this page is your #1 stop for everything related to sports injuries and sports medicine. Today in the video, I'm going to take a look at the ankle injury that Patrick Mahomes appeared to suffer here in Week 1. While he's been able to return and play in this game with his ankle taped up, the exact mechanism and what happened raised a lot of concern for a potentially more serious injury that we might see play out over time. Be sure and go subscribe if you like this type of content and want to stay up to date with future videos with new injuries throughout the NFL season and upcoming seasons with other sports, and let's get started. Now, the first thing when I saw this play from Patrick Mahomes that I was concerned about was actually a high ankle sprain, and the exact mechanism is a pretty good example of what we can see causing a high ankle sprain. There's a number of ligaments that help provide stability and support to the ankle, and the most common ones that get injured in a sprain are the lateral ankle ligaments in an inversion type of ankle sprain. This is what you see most commonly when you step on someone's foot or you land funny and your foot kind of rotates inward, pulling on these lateral ankle ligaments. But of course, we then have the dreaded high ankle sprain, which is an injury to one of the particular ligaments in the ankle called the AITFL. This stands for the anterior inferior tibiofibular ligament. It's a ligament that connects, as you might have guessed, the tibia to the fibula. To understand how a high ankle sprain can occur, you have to think about what type of positioning would cause that ligament to be pulled or stretched excessively. That ligament connects the fibula to the tibia, and so the only way that it's really going to get stretched is if the tibia and the fibula get pushed apart or get pulled away from one another. So unlike your standard inversion ankle injury where the foot just kind of rolls, this doesn't have any impact on that high ankle sprain ligament. The common mechanism for these is whenever the foot is dorsiflex, meaning the toes pointed upward, and then the foot gets externally rotated, meaning the toes point outward if you're standing up. What this does is it causes the ankle mortise to spin between the tibia and the fibula and cause them to get pushed apart from one another. Your ankle mortise can be thought of as the tibia and the fibula kind of sitting on top with the talus down in the middle. Whenever the foot gets externally rotated, it pushes apart that space between the tibia and the fibula, which causes them to be pushed apart and separate from one another. If we go to the footage here of when Mahomes got hurt, there's a really good example right here where we can see that foot go into a forced external rotation as a player's coming down and landing on his leg. Now, just because we see this mechanism doesn't mean the ankle sprain occurred, but just based on the amount that he was limping afterwards and the pain that he appeared to be in, this would be a common thing to think about for this type of mechanism. Again, looking at this frame, that foot gets forced into external rotation, which causes that ankle mortise to rotate out and push and spread apart the tibia and the fibula. Now, of course, just because we see this happen doesn't mean there's a really severe injury that's going to keep him out for the dreaded 6 weeks we often associate with a high ankle sprain. Just like with other ligamentous type injuries, there's different severities, everything from grade 1 being very mild to grade 3 where there's complete tear and separation of that ligament. We'll have to see here with Mahomes how he feels kind of after he's out of the adrenaline of the game. Expect that the ankle is going to be a little bit swollen and that he's going to be a little bit sore, at least in the coming days, even if this was just a mild tweak. The other interesting thing to know, you probably saw they put a bunch of tape around his shoe after this happened. We know from previous research that wearing ankle braces does help with both primary and secondary prevention of ankle sprains. Tape has its place, but the important thing to know is that within about 15 minutes of taping someone's ankle, that tape has already lost about half of its structural support that's helping provide any balance there. So if you're gonna tape your ankle after a situation like this, it really needs to be retaped very, very frequently in order to provide any meaningful support. Now, taping can also help with reducing some of the swelling, so you're getting twofold benefit by doing taping like this after an acute injury. We'll wait and see what we find out in terms of official diagnosis or report with what might be going on with the ankle, but based on his ability to come back and play, hopefully this is a minor thing that should be healed up in no time and not keep him out for any period of time. Thanks as always for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.